My name is Alejandro Enamorado, a member of the Capital Innovation and Engagement team here at ReFED. It's great to see you all again for our first pitch event of the year. These events are hosted by the Food Waste Funder Circle, which is a network for private, public, and philanthropic funders interested in using their capital to solve food waste. To learn more about the Food Waste Funder Circle and become a member, please visit the link in the chat below. And so it feels like a little while ago, but in 2021, ReFED released our roadmap to 2030, which features 7 key action areas to help guide the food system in focusing its efforts to reduce food waste by 50%. Within each action area, there are a number of solutions that are detailed on the ReFED's Insights engine. Today's session will be featuring companies in the action areas of refining product management, maximizing product utilization, and of course, one from reshape consumer environments. And so I am excited to introduce you to the pitching companies that we have here today: Matriark, Silo, Metafoodx, Pelon, and SCO2. Each organization has pre-recorded a pitch for you, and after each video, we will ask a few live questions before moving on to the next one. Feel free to submit any questions that you have to the presenting companies in the chat, where they'll be able to respond as well if we don't get to them. And afterwards, like if we don't actually address some of the questions, we'll save them down and try to get them back to you later on post this call. So we've got a whole hour today, a little longer than our normal usual sessions, but we can jump right to it. Our first presentation will be from Matriark, which upcycles farm surplus and fresh cut remnants into healthy products for food service and retail. They've created a supply chain from fresh cut facilities, aggregators, and farmers with all the traceability and food safety requirements to be able to manufacture at a large commercial scale.
Hello, I'm Anna Hammond, founder of Matriark Foods. Matriark is an environmental and social impact food company creating 21st century solutions for a sustainable food future. Matriark upcycles farm surplus and remnants from fresh cut facilities into healthy products for food service, retail, and food banks. We solve for the dire effects that wasted food has on the environment and on our national health. Since launching in 2019, we've brought 7 shelf-stable, clean label, upcycled certified and carbon neutral certified products to market, selling to the largest food service providers in North America. Our first retail SKUs have just been picked up by Whole Foods, and in April, we will launch our first shelf-stable meal in a box for food banks. We have done all of this on $1.1 million raised in equity and $1 million in grants. We have proven that different kinds of capital, combined with our grit and dynamic partnerships with the Kroger Zero Hunger Zero Waste Foundation, Google, and Danone Communities, among others, can create a path forward that solves for some of the world's biggest issues: hunger, equity, and climate change. Matriark currently works with 2 co-manufacturers, one in central Pennsylvania and one in New Jersey. But there is a major bottleneck in the food system that keeps millions and millions of pounds of wasted food out of human consumption. The ability to capture, optimize, and preserve regional harvests for local consumption does not exist. In the Portland, Maine food shed, there are no co-packers, so Maine imports 90% of its food. There are no full-service co-packers in the Bay Area. Over the last 18 months, Matriark has validated the need for an agile, mid-sized food production facility. We partnered with Supply Chain to focus on measuring and sourcing surplus from BIPOC and regen farmers in the Bay Area. And we partnered with Google, Compass Group, and LinkedIn to co-develop and pilot products using surplus tomatoes and surplus kale. 30,000 pounds of shelf-stable product were produced, purchased, and menued across 22 cafes, and we donated 1,000 pounds to the San Jose Food Bank. In order to maximize diversion of surplus waste streams from landfill, we have a plan to develop agile, just-in-time mid-scale processing with a small roster of food manufacturing technologies and co-packing equipment. This is our team.
Hi, I'm Heather Frombach, and I'm the co-founder of Supply Chain. My business connects small, BIPOC, organic, and regenerative farmers to corporate and institutional food service through the power of supply chain facilitation. The blue pinpoints on this map depict a subset of the farmers in the California Bay Area that I work with who face a volatile market that generates endless on-farm food loss and prevents them from building wealth and managing risk. Processing solutions are the missing link in building strong, resilient, equitable supply chain solutions that will tackle food loss at the root. Narci Organics, for example, a 7-acre farm, is operated by Maria Ana Reyes, an immigrant from Mexico who started out as a contract berry picker before launching her own organic farming business in 2014. While Maria has participated in several pilots that feature her fresh vegetables, the perishability and complexity of shipping fresh produce from field to cafeteria is a consistent barrier that prevents her from scaling up her business. Our California pilot allows Maria to sell her excess kale to become products with a longer shelf life that chefs can use flexibly as an ingredient base and a labor-saving menu item. This solution expands Maria's market opportunities and reduces waste. We have commitments from institutional chefs who prioritize sourcing sustainably and equitably. We are ready to start designing the infrastructure.
Hi, I'm Caitlin Taylor, Principal and Director of the Food Lab for Mass Design Group. Mass is a global architecture and design collective with offices around the world. We position ourselves at the forefront of pressing global challenges, approaching every project with the mission to achieve meaningful impact and to challenge the underlying systems that support inequity and injustice. The Food Systems Design Lab, nested within Mass Design Group, is specifically focused on the role of architecture in the radical redesign of regional, just, and equitable food systems. The opportunity to rescale and redeploy the existing components of supply, demand, production, and distribution requires the creation of alternative systems. This is an unprecedented opportunity to design a scalable solution to get healthy food to the institutions and people who need it most, while creating jobs and a positive effect on the environment.
We are looking for $195,000 in catalytic grant funding to develop a prototype factory design concept with site guidelines, data, tracking and measurement protocols, further development and secure grower relationships, and to continue product R&D. The next stage will be an investment opportunity to build first-of-kind, agile, mid-scale infrastructure, first in the Bay Area, and with the goal of creating regional opportunities nationally. The need is urgent, and the time is now. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. Really inspiring seeing this. And Anna's being joined by Heather from Supply Chain. I can jump right into the questions. Could you help the audience just understand a bit, who will own and operate this processing facility when it's constructed?
Yeah, so the first facility will be set up as a new entity with Matriark as the managing partner of the first facility. We have explored and have further to explore through this next phase alternative ownership structures like steward ownership. So that's, part of this next phase is to really figure out what is the best business model for this kind of a facility. And yeah.
That makes sense. And when you say that you validated the need for a food service co-packer in the Bay Area, does that mean you've identified there's enough supply demand that it could that you could fully occupy the facility to make it sustainable, or that there'd be some ramp up?
Yeah, we definitely have identified and validated that, but I'd love for Heather to step in and answer this question.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Anna. So the lack of processing infrastructure is just a massive choke point. Everyone thinks California has a lot of things figured out, and this is really one of the things that it hasn't. I work all the time kind of as a supply chain fixer between these larger corporations and institutions who really want to source sustainably and equitably, and have this massive farmer network that these corporations and institutions really want to connect with. But the whole and fresh produce is it's so difficult. It's difficulty level 10. The week over week menu cycle and planning and things like that, and getting it actually into the cafeteria is just so difficult with so many links in the chain. And then there's also a design issue as well, right? When you're menuing around, kale, it's very easy for a buyer in an institution to swap out for conventional kale instead of ensuring that they're going to order the special kale from the farmer that they're trying to commit to. But if you're creating a unique product that is processed, that is value added, a kale puree that has unique product ID. It's designed into the system in a way that ensures it's going to move through. And it also de-risks it along the entire supply chain, right? So if farmers are dropping off at a processing facility owned by Matriark, they get paid, and then it gets turned into an item that has a much longer shelf life. Chefs can use that. It saves labor. It just kind of solves every single point of friction that I see in my work every single day. And it's just a much cleaner, more well-designed solution that is a win-win for every single supply chain stakeholder. And so every day I talk to chefs who are saying, like, can you get me a tomato jam? Can you get me something that I can, bring as a win to my team? And processing is always the number one demand. So it's something I see definitely every single day, every single week, every single month in this work.
It really shows that there's a need for this. We actually have a question from the audience here, and this is about just funding. So why has it been chosen grant funding versus equity for this raise?
Well, if we had millions of dollars, we would just go do this ourselves. But we are still a startup, but with these incredible partnerships, it's got to be set up as a separate entity. It's not really ready for investment and build yet. We still have to build that. And Matriark has a track record of sort of bringing equity and grant funding together to advance the transformation that really needs to happen sort of across the food system. So if someone wants to do an investment and help us set it up and get started already on that, we're definitely up for that conversation. But so far, this is kind of our best tactic for where we are right now.
And I'll leave it with like a high level question. This is probably the last one for both of you. Could you just describe why this scarcity for co-packers exists, like at a high level in certain parts of the US? It's probably a big question, but maybe if you could distill it to a few points.
I mean, it's really, global competition and corporate consolidation and all the reasons we know that we have the massive food waste issues that we have now and the massive access issues. Until the 1960s, there were 50 canneries in Maine. They canned fish, the canneries on the coast. They canned corn. Corn was a huge export, and they were thriving regional economies. And then, big food and big consolidation, which we all know and saw the problems of during COVID, what that does to a supply chain. So that's just really decimated regional production. So, I always like to say about Matriark, we're doing something that people have done for thousands of years, which is not waste anything and, create the best efficiencies we can in our use. But we're really kind of, working to rebalance by creating this mid-scale infrastructure landscape. So the goal of this is ultimately that transformation. But I have books and articles about canneries in this country and sort of what's happened over the last 80 years. There's, it's the deregionalization of the food system overall, really.
Yeah, that structural change makes a lot of sense to me. Anna, thank you so much. Heather, thank you for joining us as well.
Thank you.
And so we're going to be moving on to our next presentation, which we hope will make you all smile. And if not, that's okay too. This is a company that we're featuring called Silo, who's on a mission to eliminate food waste in the home with its smart appliance and food safe containers. With its patented simple vacuum technology, Silo extends the shelf life of food up to 5 times. The device also seals and tags food using a built-in voice interface and accompanying mobile app, and allows customers to track their inventory, receive notifications when it goes bad, and you can gain insights on how to optimize and improve your storage. And so with that, we'd like to show you the video.
Hello and welcome to the Food Waste Founders Circle. I am Tala Pidot, the founder and CEO of Silo. Thank you so much for joining us. Today we're going to present our pitch in a slightly different style. We have taken inspiration from John Oliver and presented it in the spirit of last week tonight. As you might have guessed, our main mission at Silo is to tackle food waste. And specifically, we're targeting consumer food waste, which is actually the biggest source of food waste in developed countries. In fact, 40% of all food waste happens in our own homes. Unfortunately, not too many startups are willing to take on this challenge because it requires changing consumers' behavior. And that's where we come in. We have assembled a team of professionals that have been working on consumer products for many years. Me, I've got a master's in engineering and have spent the last decade finding innovative solutions to consumer-facing problems. And so whenever someone comes to me and says, "It has always been this way," I will answer, "Hold my beer." So let's begin. We can basically break down consumer food waste into three main problems. Firstly, our fridges cannot keep up with industrial-grade packaging. Sure, they can control the temperature, but they are not miracle workers. You can't expect your strawberries to last forever, even if you give them cute little hats. Secondly, we are all guilty about forgetting that one item at the back of the fridge. You know, the one, that shriveled up carrot that's basically now auditioning to the next season of The Walking Dead. And finally, we all buy too much food. We get so overwhelmed by the abundance of choices at the supermarket. And don't even get me started on online grocery shopping. I mean, do you know how many strawberries are in a pound? As a non-American, I'm not even sure what a pound is. So now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. How can we change consumer behavior? Well, if you look at successful tech solutions from smartphones to Fitbits, you notice two key things that they all have in common. These products offer a lot of benefit and don't require much effort on your behalf. And that's the secret sauce in Silo. All the rewards with none of the hassle. To understand consumer hunger for a solution, we need to start with vacuum storage. Keeping your food in vacuum can make it last up to 5 times longer, and consumer products have been around for more than 20 years. A company called Food Saver has been leading the market in this category, and according to multiple surveys, about 20% of US households already own a vacuum sealer. But here's the thing. While they're great for keeping food in bags, they are not exactly practical for everyday use. Attempts to introduce container-based solutions have failed miserably. I mean, who has the time to deal with hoses in the kitchen every single day? And that's where we come in. We have developed the world's first unit that can vacuum seal your food with just one action. That's right, just one. All you have to do is place a container on a device and it will do the rest. Thanks to our proprietary airway system, we have made it so easy that even your cat can do it.
Vacuum complete.
Okay, maybe not your cat, but you get the point. No more heavy lifting, just perfectly vacuum seal food at your fingertips. Moving on to the second problem. We forget what we have. We could have given you a pamphlet, but let's be real, it's gonna end strawberries.
Okay, I've added strawberries to your inventory. It should be good for 7 to 10 days.
Every time you store food in Silo, the machine will weigh it, tag it, and keep track of how long it's been in there. And when it's getting close to the expiration date, Silo will remind you that it is time to eat those baby carrots before they turn into a funky orange mess. And finally, over-shopping. By tracking your consumption, Silo can actually calculate how much food you need to buy next time. It will be like having a personal shopping assistant, except one that doesn't judge you for buying too much ice cream. Okay, that's enough, Susan. Moving on, let's talk about saving food. We ran the numbers, and Silo has the potential to reduce household food waste by a whopping 20 to 40%. And with just 10,000 units, we can save anywhere between 500,000 to 4 million pounds of food per year. And that's not even factoring consumer savings or the potential to increase healthier eating at home. We've even gamified the experience for our customers by showing them their personal savings on our app using fun and illustrative examples. Now you might be thinking, wow, Silo sounds amazing, where can I get my hands on it? Well, hold your horses there, because Silo is not yet available on the market, but don't you worry. We have already started producing our first batch of 500, set to be shipped only next month. And to de-risk the situation even further, we have already run a study with 20 families to validate the user experience, and the results were impressive to say the least. We have also ran one of the most successful Kickstarter campaigns that managed to sell $1.4 million worth of products in just 30 days, making us the third most successful product in the history of the Kickstarter platform. In conclusion, think of Silo as your personal food valet, making sure your food stays fresh and organized so you can focus on the more important things, like finally finishing that Netflix series you've been putting off. And now, this.
And now, Silo's first users share their experience.
Probably one of the easiest things I've ever used.
Anything that I'm taking the time to make or prepare, I want stored in those containers.
You put it on, you put it in, and it does what it's supposed to do, and just sit back and let it do a thing.
Food that has been sealed is definitely fresher.
Here's my food, it's still fresh from yesterday.
I don't have to wonder if it's gonna be good or not when I taste it.
Because when you actually can hear it, you're like, oh, it actually did something.
Awesome. Thank you, Silo team. Thank you, Tal. That was awesome to see. I think we're being joined by him right now. Awesome. Hello.
Hey, Alejandro.
So we can jump right into questions for you.
Of course, of course.
Yeah.
I need a moment to absorb this. So.
No, it's good. We're grateful that you're joining, and honestly, we
Thank
love
you.
the video. And so I guess for the team here, what is your funding ask, and what is the intended use of the funds that you're asking for here?
Yeah, so right now we're seeking $2+ million in investment, and the intent of those funds are actually to start selling, producing products. We have already finished the development stage. We have our first silos here working in the office, and basically the next stage is start producing and testing the product and proving the concept.
It's awesome that we can see the physical product there.
Yeah. I'm using marshmallows, by the way, for the demo because they like to get bigger under the vacuum. So you can really see them going in. And small size again.
What's in the container?
Marshmallows. Sorry.
I thought it was an audience member asking that.
Yeah.
I guess, like, how are you pricing these products? And could you describe who you'd be selling or targeting with this box?
So the silo system, our basic bundle will be basically a device and a set of 4 containers. And of course, there'll be also bigger bundles offered to the consumers. And right now we're looking at the target price of around $3.99 for this basic bundle. We believe that our main focus audience in the beginning is going to be foodies, meal preppers, people who are more health conscious, people who care what they eat, and people who love to cook at home. We're also targeting existing owners of vacuum sealers, and as mentioned in the video, we estimated around 20% of US households already own a vacuum sealer, and they already understand the value proposition of the product. So based on our estimation, the customer acquisition cost will be relatively lower than new consumers.
Okay, that makes sense. And we got an audience question. You answered the first part of like the charge, so right on.
Yeah.
But I guess like they asked about special containers. Will you need those like from Silo, or could you use any sort of container?
So Silo does require use of our containers. This is part of the solution that we have. We have the only container in the world that can basically be sealed from the bottom. This is a special patent that we have already registered and allow us to basically create this one-touch vacuum. So yes, the system will require it to use only Silo containers. That's also part of our product that we're selling. So.
Okay, that makes sense. And in terms of the revenue model, I know you're selling the product. Is there a subscription model for like the software, or is that free?
So it is going to be some sort of hybrid model. So you're going to get the device and a basic version of the app at cost, but the idea is that some features will be, paid subscription features, and it's still being decided. Basically, once we have the device out there and we can start measuring engagement, it will allow us to make, better decisions on that.
Okay. Tal, thank you for joining us today. We're going to be moving on to our next presentation. And so we have today, today we have a presentation from Pelon, which aims to address the problem of food waste and plastic pollution within the fresh produce supply chain. Pelon is a unique, versatile biomaterial that is renewable, biodegradable, and compostable. And with that, we'll play the video.
Hello everyone, this is Pelon, innovating the way we pack. I'm Dr. Tarak Ramji, co-founder and CEO of Pelon. So as you know, the world is currently producing 1.3 billion tons of food waste each year. And when we look closer, as you can clearly see the produce supply chain, 61% of the wastage happens in storage and distribution. So we are Pelon, a packaging technology innovator. We specialize in packaging solutions that enhance functionality, sustainability, and efficiency through our cutting-edge technology. So one of our such innovations is Pelon Fresh biodegradable films. It's 100% biodegradable technology, packaging technology for fruits and vegetables. It delays the ripening and increases the shelf life, retains the moisture and freshness, and eliminates any kind of microbial growth. As you can clearly see the effect with and without Pelon Fresh in cilantro, plantains, and oranges kept at room temperature. So our target market is specific to produce distributors, growers, and retail stores in the priority order. And our revenue model is production-based revenue model in which we assess how much Pelon Fresh is needed and we develop monthly contract for it. And we have a capacity up to 30 tons per month through our co-manufacturer. Pelon has a great market opportunity for optimal market up to 2.5 billion with a blooming trend of productivity and efficiency needs and more increasing demands for the fresh produce. And as you can already know, that there's a increasing supply chain risk, which is a big burden to the current market. So coming back to the competitive advantage, so our packaging is we hold a very big competitive advantage over other competitors that is in the market with respect to versatility of application. That is meaning our packaging is highly versatile with respect to application and usage into different kinds of fresh produce, unlike the other place in the market. And when it comes to scaling up, we are easy to scale up and can set up locally at a low cost. And we could give a very good competitive pricing because of our patented technology. As a major milestone, we have successfully tested over 40 plus different commodities and done 14 successful proof of concept trials with the different distributors and growers. We have been supported by already multiple entities and organizations focusing on impact and sustainability. So we like here as a team, like 2 of 3 founders are actually scientists and entrepreneurs with a huge experience in the current subject. And our team together brings a deep and diverse experience and a track record of delivering results and creating a value. So we are currently also fundraising a pre-seed round of 550K in the form of convertible note to get the first 3 paid clients. We are always actively looking for partners who are interested to reduce their produce waste and packaging solution. Thank you. We invite you to join our mission and to be a part of the healthy, sustainable future. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Today we're being joined by Ramji. Hello.
You can hear me? Yeah. Hi.
Yeah, we can hear you now. Awesome. Could you elaborate a bit more on the use of proceeds getting the first 3 paid clients? Is this to fund further piloting, or will this be for salespeople?
Absolutely, absolutely. So the proceeds which you'll be used for, mainly for the sales and operation purpose to actually get this paid clients. That includes hiring also the salespeople. So it's mainly for so we have them in pipeline. So we will be using to implement and operate for getting this paid clients.
Okay, that makes sense. And could you address just global scalability, since that was on one of your slides? Would you be able to set up production with other co-manufacturers, and how would this differ from the competitors that are out there?
Yeah, so most of the competitors have shown they have been focused on the edible coating technology or ethylene absorption. So whereas we are giving in the form of a smart packaging, so which could be replace the current single-use plastics they have been using for packing and distribution purposes. So this is also one advantage we have, so that the pellets we develop, it could be easily integrated into the current plastic manufacturing process, manufacturers, and then could be blown into different sizes and shapes of the films, so that could be readily used or replaced by the current packaging.
Okay. And maybe just a question on the packaging itself that you're making. What's it like, to the extent you can share, what's it made of? Like, is it like a plastic thingy? Is it some sort of combination? And then how does it get applied, like manually or with like a machine?
Sure. So the packaging itself is so we encapsulate the plant metabolites, which are responsible for delaying the ripening, keeping the freshness, and then antimicrobial properties. So that are integrated with the biopolymers that are currently used, or it could be also the newly upcoming biopolymers, or which are currently in use. So we have been testing with the currently used biopolymers, which are bioplastics. So that way we were able to, that's our patented process as well, that's our IP process. So that's the core IP, and we will be able to also expand into any kind of biopolymers that will be available in near future and in the further future as well. So that gives us that flexibility and easy to scale up with any kind of replacing the single-use plastics that are currently used in the packaging process.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Ramji. That makes sense. It sounds like you've got a flexible system in place. We have a question from the audience. I guess like a high-level question would be more so like, what traction are you hearing for your product right now, in terms of revenue, or just like the conversations we're having with customers? Like, what are you feeling with it right now?
Sure. Yeah. So we are currently in the pre-revenue stage. So we are finishing up with the regulatory process. So we have like a couple of LOIs as well. So we are close to selling it a more commercial order. As you can see through our core manufacturer, we already have a very good capacity, so we can really get into the market in the market very quickly. And also I see, would this work for raw meat and cut vegetables? So cut vegetables, yeah, it's possible. And for the meat, we are developing a different packaging process as well, packaging system. So it's I mean, because the chemistry and biology changes completely for fresh produce and meat and like leafy greens. So the current packaging it's mainly for the leafy greens to any kind of fresh produce. So for the meat, shrimps and fish, like we are developing a different prototype.
Okay, that makes sense. Ramji, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. And so we have our next pitch, which will be coming from SCO2, who leverages award-winning patented extraction technology to upcycle food and ag waste into high-value oils, essences, and flavors. And these are to be used in food, cosmetic, and pharmaceutical applications. Their mission is to build a robust and sustainable supply chain. And so hopefully you can see the video coming up soon.
Hi, my name is Michael Siegel, and I'm the CEO of SCO2. Thanks for taking a few minutes with us today. I'm really grateful to ReFED for putting this together. So I only have 5 minutes, so we're going to cruise through this. So we fundamentally believe that we can recover a lot of lost value in food waste at growers and processors using our patented extraction methodology. And this audience knows very well the big problem. What we've learned is that growers and processors, when they have waste, they want to get rid of it. Until now, it's really been cost prohibitive to extract oil from waste based on limitations or financial implications. And waste is obviously very harmful to the environment. We think we've got a solution for each of these key aspects of it. SCO2 was founded in 2019 by Olaf Lee, who's the developer of this equipment, and I've joined more recently. Both of us have experience in taking early stage technologies or companies and scaling them very rapidly. Olaf's been doing this for 25 years and has built a very large scale recycling and sorting equipment for the waste industries, processing up to 25 tons an hour of material. My background has been in fast growth, early stage companies and taking new products to market when they have a niche. We are really focused on creating ultra premium products and taking these to formulators so that they can design better products, formulators in the food, pharmaceutical, and the cosmetic industries. The technology is really breakthrough. We've really broken the mold in how supercritical CO2 extraction is done and really kind of altered what it was typically known in a few fundamental ways. Number one is in the cycle time. We're achieving cycle times an average of 7 to 15 minutes, and the very, very minimum until now has been known to be 40 minutes, sometimes much longer than that. Secondly, what we do is we do bulk and targeted extraction in one process. What that means is that we're far more efficient in what we can do, and we are actually extracting distillate level compounds in a single step, which is somewhat unheard of. Most CO2 systems or other extraction systems would do a bulk extraction followed by some follow-on distillation after the fact. Not only is this a waste of sort of time and resources, but it ends up affecting the net yield. And then finally, the biggest opportunity here is the scalability. We can scale our equipment using kind of the greenest methodology for extraction and apply it to food waste where we can make a real impact. Our business model is somewhat simple. It's really kind of a trash to treasure model. We can go partner with processors and with a very, very low cost of input, with a very, very efficient piece of equipment, and extract these ultra premium oils to sell into the market. Really, why a formulator would be interested is new across the board, new access to compounds they may not otherwise have, a new level of quality, and new uses for that in their formulations. You look at where we're going, there are a few of our target markets here. A hop oil that would replace the need for putting bushels of actual hops into your craft brew. Polyphenols out of grape seeds. Grape waste is a massive problem in our country, and we've got some better uses that we can extract out of there. Quercetin, which is commonly found in red onions, probably the most prevalent, has a lot of applications in nutraceuticals as well as pharmaceutical health benefits there. And rosemary extract. This is actually an opportunity that came to us from a customer in the pet food business who's very interested in a more premium and also having trouble in their supply chain. So we're vetting that opportunity right now. We plan to build a very large and sustainable business with our technology, and we're doing a $2.5 million capital raise right now to help us do this. The beating drum on food waste seems to be that we're not doing enough, we're not doing it fast enough. We have the technology and the team, and now are asking for your help, not only for your capital, but also for leaning in and helping. We have a need for a broader network. We're relatively new in the food waste area and can use your expertise, your guidance, and your help. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you, Michael. And so Michael was not able to join us here today because he's currently at the Future Food Tech Conference in San Francisco. So today we actually have Olaf Lee, the co-founder of this company, as well as like the tech behind it. So really excited to speak with you today, Olaf.
Thanks for having me.
We can start off with a few like sort of intro kind of questions for this. Could you help everyone here better understand the business model? It's clear that you're extracting oils from food waste, but can you further describe where and how this works?
Yeah, so the buyers of our oils typically have specifications around exactly what it is they're after. Normally, in this case, like onion oil, we could use as an example. What we do is determine how many onions it's going to take and actually to produce the oil that they're after, and then realize what the buyer's looking for in overall volume, contract with them after sending them a sample of what we can extract from onions, and then go directly to the producer of the waste, whether it's at farm or it's at a co-producer, and contract with them to deliver the oils to us through our equipment. So we go into them with contract in hand, knowing what our offtake agreement already has, so that we realize what the spread is based on already having tested the product. So in most cases, a good example would be we could pay a producer of the waste up to $8,000 a ton to use our equipment to produce the oils, with which they'll be turning something they were paying to dispose of into a revenue stream. And then we'll go and sell the oils in the market for a 2 to 3 times magnitude on value.
That makes a lot of sense, the model. Are there any sort of macro trends that are fueling this right now?
Well, the supply chain disruptions that we've all been experiencing, whether it's on the equipment side or in the food side, has definitely become a challenge. Transportation costs increasing are definitely a part of the need and demand for more localized production of some of these feedstocks. Transporting these products across the world becomes cost prohibitive. So it enables us to be able to go directly to waste products and then deliver it within the sort of local economy methodology at a much lower rate by extracting oil rather than transporting the food waste to a site to then process, because then you're just transporting by and large water. We go directly to where the wastes are produced and place the equipment there.
Okay, that makes sense. And we've got some questions from the audience as well. So what happens with the fiber material after the extraction?
Well, there's multiple options that come up with the fiber product. It could still be used for animal feed. It could also be used as a feedstock for biochar, as a soil amendment. And then there's actually situations where the extraction itself could strip away the oils and the waxes. And in the cases of like protein-based materials, you may end up with a puck of pure protein that's tasteless and odorless. So the byproduct may end up being the oil in those cases, and the puck or the biomass leftover may end up being a protein-based food product that could be sold into the market.
Okay. Olaf, thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Okay. And so now we're going to be moving on to our final pitch of today, which will be from Metafoodx. This is a seed stage startup that helps food service businesses to prevent food waste and optimize their production planning through an AI-powered SaaS solution. They remove the data gap between back kitchen production and true consumption through an industry-first real-time consumption tracking.
Hi, everyone. I am the CEO and the co-founder of Metafoodx. It's my pleasure to share the Metafoodx story with you. Our mission at Metafoodx is to increase food service sustainability by preventing food overproduction. Our unique offering is a consumption tracking-based solution for refining product management and reshaping consumer environments with quantifiable metrics and ROIs. Our product helps food operators to prevent food waste by tracking true consumptions and then do the right production amount. Our solution starts with a real-time tracking done by portions, by menu items, and the ingredients for both the front and the back of the kitchen. This accurate consumption data enables optimization of menu design, production, and purchase planning through a centralized dashboard. This very dashboard also delivers alerts for food safety, refill, to allow efficient operation, and to reduce service line leftover and waiting time. We use a service SaaS subscription model to deliver customers with excellent ROI while producing a healthy margin for Metafoodx. The standard subscription provides tracking and planning service at $1,000 per month per food venue. The minimum per customer subscription covers 3 food venues for a period of 3 years at a minimum deal value of $108,000. Our food sensor COGS for covering 3 venues is $7,500, yielding a per contract gross margin of about 93%. Now, for a small private university with 10 million annual dining revenues, for example, we can conservatively prevent 65% of their overproduction cost, bringing them almost $750,000 in savings, which translates to an ROI of over 4 times. We have a premier food waste prevention market. Our bottom-up estimate of the TAM for US alone is at about $25 billion. My core team has a great mix of talents and skills, with successful entrepreneurs passionate about food sustainability, with food service executives having deep domain insights, and with seasoned product and engineering delivery capabilities. All of our 11 additional full-time staffs are all based in San Jose, California. So we are well on our way to acquire customers and generate revenue. We intend to raise a small pre-A round at about 3.5 million for a 18-month runway. The key milestones with this funding include 30 paying customers, about 2.1 million total revenue, and also an ARR run rate of about 2.4 million, all to be achieved by the end of 2024. That's all. I thank you very much for your attention. Here is my contact information, and also now my VP of Customer Success, Terry, and I can answer some of your questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Feng Min and Thierry. think they're both joining us now.
Thank you for having
Hello.
us.
We're very grateful for your time. And so we can just jump right in. What types of settings would your solution that you're offering be most cost-effective and most relevant for food service providers?
Yes, great question. I mean, for us, we think it's in this case, any buffet line kind of setup or food pantry with, let's say, about more than 100 people to feed, they will benefit, and we can safely help them to reduce about 25% and more of their overproduction waste. And of course, when you go to larger facilities, they definitely have more challenge to manage the sustainability and efficiency. So we expect they will definitely benefit much more from our solution.
Okay, so the larger facilities, that makes sense. What makes your solution different from the other kinds of food waste solutions that are for like restaurants or those larger facilities?
Yeah, and for us, I think probably the greatest beginning point is we know it takes a lot of effort to deal with the food waste. However, we are not just looking at creating awareness, right? We are all aware how serious this problem is. And also, I mean, recycling is a great repurposing, but to go to the root of the problem, we are really targeting the prevention. So that is the number one. And also we come up with from the inside field based on true consumption and then driving the production, that is the right approach. And then the third thing we have done is we have decided to actually know about the food cycle management, this process, and then we work our solution to work with people's process. So that makes it easy for them to actually gain the benefits from it.
Yeah, so removing that friction to adopt, like that sounds like the differentiator here. Where has the solution been piloted so far, and how is your, like, on a vague general level, how is your sales pipeline looking?
Yeah, I think Terry has been driving our customer engagement. Terry, are you available? I know you take this on.
I'm here. I just had to change the room. I have some echo. Where did we pilot? We pilot in Santa Clara University. We pilot in Pomona College. We are piloting in UC Riverside. We also pilot the program in Cal Poly Pomona. We are going for fall 2023 to Boston University, Vanderbilt, Ohio University, I miss some. And we also work with the main food provider who are Sodexo, Google Heimer, Compass Group at Santa Clara University. And we also work directly with Lincoln campus. And soon we hope Google and Facebook. So the pilot is start to be everywhere. We get a very good data. Our customer pilot are very impressed by the data we can report. They really realize the overproduction they are making on a daily basis, and they start to reduce and follow the dashboard and follow the technology, which is very, very great for us, and we are very proud of what we did until now. And yeah.
Thank you. And I think I'm going to try to squeeze in one last question. Hopefully people don't kill me. Competitors, could you quickly just say, like, who would you consider to be your competitors for this product?
I will try to answer. We don't have a direct competitor of what we are doing. I mean, you have some company like LeafPath who is managing the waste, but more in the back of the house of the kitchen. The purpose of LeafPath and everything you put in the trash, you wage, I will tell you, this is the total wage you have yesterday. Our business model is based on consumption versus looking the trash behind. We look your consumption in front and we give you guidance for your next production. Our bigger competitor will be Seaboard, eTech, Agilisis, Food Pro, or Food Management for food service. That's it. But on what we are doing, there's really no competitor today.
Awesome. Well, thank you both for joining. And I'm going to be looking to close. So everyone, thank you so much for the excellent pitches. It was a wonderful time. And thank you all, everyone who joined us today. You can reach out to all these companies directly using the contact information from our regular deal flow report. And if you're a member of the Food Waste Funder Circle, please let us know if you'd like us to facilitate any introductions. You're seeing the poll right now in front of you. So just feel free to fill it in. And then we will try to facilitate those connections. If you're a capital provider who is not already a member of the Food Waste Funder Circle, we would love for you to join us. So in addition to these quarterly pitch events, we have periodic educational webinars, networking events, and we share a deal flow every month. It's honestly awesome. So you can learn more from the webpage that's going to be listed in the chat. It's showing up right now, and join by filling out a survey. If you have any feedback on our session today, please email my colleague Sarah at sarah.munger@refed.org. And of course, please also provide feedback on our pitch that you see up at the front. And so we are looking forward to seeing you at our next event. We wish you all a great rest of your week. Thank you so much.
Thank you.